I just want to highlight that a key aim of our BRInC program is really to provide support to one another and have these sort of discussions. And we hope to foster this and grow this as a group across the course of the program, if you're interested in being involved with us. So I guess what is BRInC? To provide you with a bit more information. So BRInC was funded by the Department of Industry, Science and Energy and Resources under the Women in STEM and Entrepreneurship grant funding scheme. And the aim of this scheme is to increase girls' and women's interest and awareness in STEM education and careers, as well as increasing the leadership capacity of women currently in STEM. So projects targeted towards these areas with a focus of funding, and we put together a program with everyone listed on this slide here, a whole bunch of wonderful early career researchers in biomechanics, industry partner BRAINSTEM, and the Australian New Zealand Society of Biomechanics. And through the program, we've also been able to recruit a communications specialist and a program coordinator. So I think as a team, we're all really passionate about increasing the representation of women in STEM, and as we're all in the field of biomechanics, in particular in biomechanics. So, and we think that mentoring is a wonderful way to really encourage girls and women to STEM careers and into the field. And we also understand that it's really important to have support networks and peer support networks and other women supporting women so that they can go on to be futures champions in STEM and also leaders in our field. So that's really what this program's about. But the idea for this program actually, and this grant idea, came from the Australian New Zealand Society of Biomechanics early and mid-career retreat that we held in 2019. So a bunch of us got together and went up to northern New South Wales and had a weekend in some beautiful farmland, which was really lovely. And, you know, as a group of women in biomechanics, we were all really passionate about seeing more women in biomechanics. Many of us had known each other from conferences in our PhD days, and we're all sort of at similar career paths or at times in our career. But we all worked in really different areas of biomechanics, so we hadn't necessarily collaborated. But this grant opportunity came up and was a sort of perfect opportunity for us to collaborate and work together on something that we all really were really excited about. So I just wanted to highlight that, you know, networking from these things, you might not think something is going to lead to a future project, but it's always good to be involved in these things because you never know what's going to come out of it. So the purpose then of BRInC and our project idea was really to address what's known as the leaky pipeline in engineering. So there's two critical time points where more girls and women drop out of engineering pathways. And these are in high school, where fewer girls select the year 11 and 12 STEM subjects required to study engineering at a tertiary level, which then results in less women undertaking engineering degrees and less women in engineering leadership positions. And the second dropout point is those early career years where many women actually leave the field altogether. And some of you may be approaching that time in your life now. So in order to address these two leaky time points in this pipeline, we designed BRInC to firstly engage 100 schoolgirls in year 9 and 10 in a 100-day mentoring program. So we want them to develop their own story in biomechanics through hands-on experience in biomechanics and access to a real-life mentor in the field of biomechanics or biomedical engineering. Now we're using biomechanics as a sub-discipline of biomedical engineering to engage and incite girls in biomedical engineering. So the focus is on engineering. And we've chose biomechanics because research shows that this really resonates with girls to be able to solve the real world problems that biomechanics does, or that many research areas in biomechanics do. We also want to concurrently build, through this program, build an Australian-wide community of early career women in biomechanics to provide support and ongoing networking opportunities to one another. And ultimately, we want to see each other go on to future leadership positions or whatever our career aspirations may be. So what we're looking for are some early career women in biomechanics or biomedical engineering to join us as program mentors. So really, if you're looking to develop your mentoring skills and inspire girls, or looking to develop this supportive network and be involved in a supportive network of women in biomechanics, then we think this program is for you. We also, if you know of other people who aren't here today or haven't attended any of these mentoring sessions that you think this might be of interest to, please do feel free to share this with them. We would love for more people to know about BRInC. We also really want to highlight and encourage team mentoring. So working with your PhD students or other early career researchers or other PhD students to share the load. We've talked about this being, we talked about time management, work-life balance. We don't want this to be something overly burdensome to all of you. We want it to be something enjoyable. So just a bit of an outline of what the program actually looks like and what the commitments would be. So initially, if you were to sign up to participate in the program, you won't hear from us until February when you'll attend a mentoring training session, which will really runs through Mural and Slack, which are the platforms that we'll be using across the course of the program. We'll then provide a bit more detail about the program so you're ready and raring to go. And then the program itself runs across 13 weeks in terms 1 and 2 of school. So during this time, you'd work with a small team of girls, about 4 or 5 in year 9 and 10. And we estimate this is about 15 hours of contact across the course of the program. So I want to highlight that we don't want this to be burdensome. We want it to be flexible and work for you. So, you may meet face-to-face some weeks and then not face-to-face other weeks online. Or there may be periods where you meet for more hours some weeks and then not have a meeting the next week, for example, data collection or showing the students the lab. I think you can really just tailor this to how your team's progressing and what works for you and your team of mentors. If you're going on holidays or you're going to a conference or it's a really busy teaching week, we can be flexible around this. Time can be shared with colleagues, as we've mentioned, and we really want to encourage the inclusion of PhD students so that they can go on to be future mentors in the program. If face-to-face is a barrier for you, we do want to facilitate this program to girls in remote communities. So this may be an opportunity for you to mentor purely online. Just discuss that with us and we're more than happy to make this work. So this is a quick overview of actually like the week by week program structure. So the program kicks off on the 8th of March next year, which is International Women's Day. And then the program follows a design thinking approach. So empathy, definition, ideation, prototyping, and testing. So the students will explore each of those components for 2 weeks at a time. And they'll use that to progress their scientific discoveries and their research and innovation project that you will help them undertake. Students will also undertake some workshops across the course of the program, and then it will conclude in them doing a final presentation, showcasing their work to all of us and everyone in the program. Now there's a break for school holidays, so depending on what state you're in, these dates will vary, but basically that will mean that weeks 5 and 6 might be a different date because they'll be around your school holiday period, but we'll all be back on the same page as of week 7. So with your support and over the course of the program, we aim for the girls to gain hands-on experience in biomechanics, exposure to the lab and mentorship from a real-world biomechanist. So they'll undertake a research and innovation project as a team and with your support. But we really want to highlight that this doesn't have to be bigger than Ben-Hur. It's just all about exposing them to biomechanics. So it can really be anything and as big or small as you like or want it to be, and what the girls would like to do following their interests. We can provide some examples of what some of these have been in the past to give you an idea. Michelle has run some with BRAINSTEM, so she'll have some good ideas on that. Across the program, the girls will also participate in masterclasses, which are run by BRAINSTEM. So there's no requirement for the BRInC mentors to participate in this, but you can if you want. And then, as I mentioned, all the teams will present their project in this virtual showcase event, and the 2 best teams will be awarded a prize to go and present at a conference, which would provide them with further opportunities and exposure in the field. So I guess we just wanted to talk about why we think it's a good idea to join BRInC. In our experience, there's a tremendous amount of enjoyment from mentoring and helping others. We've also been in correspondence with the Journal of Biomechanics about publishing a book of abstracts from all of the programs featured in BRInC. So that would enable all mentors to be included on that publication. We also know that mentoring is important to demonstrate outreach and impact in grant applications. And participating in a national mentoring program would help contribute to that section of the grant, of your grants. And finally, something that we think is really important, and hopefully today has maybe shone a bit of light on that, is that we really want to develop this network of mentors and women in biomechanics over the course of this program, but also well beyond the course of the program. So we aim to meet regularly to support each other through the program. So discussing challenges we may be having with mentoring students, difficult students or unengaged students, help with project ideas, all these sorts of things. We really want this to be a community of women where we can provide peer support to one another, develop our own mentoring skills, and really know that we're not in it alone and we're here for each other, which can also lead to a whole range of different collaboration and networking opportunities in and of itself. So that's really my brief overview of BRInC. There's 7 minutes left, but what I'd really like to do is answer any questions that anyone may have. If you're interested in signing up, the QRS code on the screen is there, but also you'll get an email following this session. So if you have questions,